Good evening and welcome to another Mothman podcast. We are your number one source for sci-fi and paranormal podcasts. Also be listening for podcasts from Moth and Flame. You'll be hearing about hypnotherapy and mediumship.
And also, please like and subscribe and comment on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Instagram, Twitter, and more. And you can find out a lot more about our services on mothmanpodcast.com.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another decade of Mothman Podcast. Welcome to 2020. This is our first podcast of the year. Amanda and I are here tonight in the studio. Amanda, you want to say hi to everybody?
Hello. Welcome to the Roaring 20s.
Well, we're back in the 20s. And so I've been watching the internet, and they said be sure to put more than just 20
I heard that.
Yeah.
Put 2020 because people can change it to 20 anything.
Anything, right. So it can mess up contracts. So
yeah.
You want to do that. But we had a great year last year. We really enjoyed everything that we were doing. We hope that you continue to listen to us through the 2020 year. We'll try to be back having at least one podcast a week, sometimes more. Also, I will be putting more of our night series back up so that the old time radio series, we've got a lot of truck drivers out there.
Those are so great.
Yeah, we got the contract to run all those, so we will be running those. But
I like to listen to those either like right before I'm ready to settle down and go to sleep, because they're interesting enough that I'm not going to fall asleep quite yet. But they're good.
Yeah, but they can put you to sleep.
They're soothing. There's something soothing about them.
Yeah, I was able to find this developer of these pyramids, and everybody talks about the energy of a pyramid, and so I was able to get a couple of built for me that are supposed to be special. They've got a special wiring inside that captures the magnetic force of the earth.
Oh, is that what that's for?
Yeah, and
okay.
So I got.
I thought it was just pretty.
No, well, it's pretty too.
It
has a meaning to it.
Yeah,
and, I got one for my daughter, and I also got one for Amanda. So bring
it's
her peace.
Beautiful.
Bring her some peace and tranquility into her life. I'm hoping she'll keep it near.
It's got like a map of the chakras on the front. And like some gold and the wiring and then like I don't know what rock that is.
I'm not sure either, but the gold is supposed to be real gold because that helps draw in real energy. Mm-hmm. And the wire was designed with a copper coating on it that is supposed to attach to the magnetic forces of the earth.
I see.
And bring in positive energy for you. So,
so that would be good to put by my bed.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. It's they use the dream catchers for the Native Americans. I almost said Indians. The Native Americans. So that was designed to draw in energy. So it helps with your spiritual calmness during the night. Keep the bad people away at nighttime.
Oh, I like that. Yeah,
so,
and it's really pretty.
It took a little while to get in here because my daughter's still waiting for her Christmas present. She hasn't received it yet. But I wanted something special, so I had to have them specially made. And apparently it takes a little while to get those things specially made. So.
Well, it's really pretty.
Anyway,
thank you. I
you're
appreciate
welcome.
it.
We're going to talk a little bit tonight about last year and some of the things that we want to do this year, which is a lot of investigations. I know Bruce is out there listening too. So Happy New Year, Bruce. Looking forward to working with you this coming year, especially with investigation. Bruce is our investigative guru. So he's going to be out in the field doing a lot of investigations. We'll be supporting him on that. And hopefully we will go forward with a lot of YouTube videos that you guys will be able to enjoy. I did purchase a drone during the holidays so we could fly over some of these locations and so give the people a panoramic view of the areas that we're going to be investigating. One of them's Old Salisbury Road.
Yes. There's been a lot of developments with the Old Salisbury Road thing. The deeper I go into the investigation, it's still ongoing. So
You've got a lot of interesting stuff that you found out, right?
I have found so much. And I just found out about a murder-suicide where an entire family was murdered, and then the mother shot herself. Old Salisbury Road.
Do you know what? Well, we'll get into that.
I know which house.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we also know what years.
Yep. Okay, it was 2004.
All right. Well, our spirituals beings that we see would have dated back before that, though. But
right.
Yeah, but right. Still.
But I think there's something about that area, and I don't know what it would be. I do know there is a large bedrock right under that area that runs from there to downtown Winston-Salem. And I don't know if the bedrock has something to do with the energy in that on that road.
Well, that's something we'll investigate coming up in this next year.
Yeah.
Also, we want to try to find that cave or the Indian Native American.
Yes, the Native American cave with it's got some kind of Native American drawings. I don't know any more than that. I've got a friend looking into that for me. She can find places pretty well. We'll be
bringing that to you in this coming year. Some of the things we were talking about before we started the podcast was we'd like to go in depth on a lot of the investigations we did last year and a lot of the subjects we covered, like the Ouija board, and we were talking about that. We were just in our conversations, we were talking about the two sisters.
Yeah, the Fox sisters.
The Fox sisters who actually started this whole movement.
Yeah.
But, it was, kind of disappointing when I did some more research and read about that, where one of the Fox sisters, just before she passed away, stated that it was all fake. She did deny that there at the end.
Yeah, she went back on it and said, no, I'm just kidding. It was real. But it was the end of her life. She was trying to protect money for the family. And and you can't blame her for doing that, but Mike could blame her for faking people out for 30, 40 years. Right. I don't know how long.
So, there's little things that we'll get into. There's a book that was given to me over the holidays by Life magazine that goes back and talks about strange creatures and
there's some psychic phenomena in there.
Modern psychic and events that we're going to be talking about, unlocking the mysteries of different religious cults. The Psychic Cold War, talking about Hitler's regime.
Mm-hmm.
The father of ESP. Now, that's a subject that I think you and I want to
that would be really interesting to look into.
So, and also we're going to be, I'm going to be doing some more hypnotherapy sessions, and I'm going to try to record a hypnotherapy session where we can put it on the air and you can actually be involved in the hypnotherapy session itself. And so that's something we want to do, and Amanda's going to be dwelling in her psychic powers in this coming year, trying to develop more powers and working with people to try to bring out more in the Mothman and Flame episodes. So we're excited about this coming year. It's going to be a great year.
Yeah, we've got a lot planned.
So, if you guys have anything that you want us to research for you, we've started back into requesting this information over the internet, and please give us an email. Just give us a topic you'd like us to research and find out more for you, and we'll
be happy to do it.
So
at mothmanpodcast@gmail.com or mothmanpodcast.com.
And they can even tweet you, right?
Yeah, we even have a Twitter. Mothman Podcast 1 is the Twitter handle. Mothman Podcast 1.
So, there's a lot of ways to reach us. So just be sure to give us and if you put in there a phone number where we can reach you, we'll be more than happy to call you up, either on the air or not on the air, your call. And we will be more than happy to discuss this with you. We've got, I believe we're going to be calling Ann again.
Yes, we are. We're going to give Ann a call
and
speak with her mother this time.
Yeah,
and
her mother's actually been more involved in it than she has.
Her mother has seen things and has videoed a lot of orbs, but she hasn't actually seen an entity or anything, but her mother has. So that'll be pretty interesting.
Wow. Do you have anything over Christmas that you think our listeners would be interested in? Any kind of experiences or?
Well, I can talk about just for a preview of the Ann's mother conversation. I offered to see if I could I call it channeling the house. It's like where I kind of psychically go into the house and try to connect with any entities there. There's not always an entity in a house, even if people think that there is. But, so I asked if I could do that with her house, and she's like, yeah, go for it. And so I kept seeing this one boy. I saw more than that, but I'll just talk about just the boy. And, he was completely vivid to me. Like he had blonde hair that was kind of curly. He looked like he was maybe 17-ish, kind of pimply faced. He had on like a button down shirt, but kind of with an old style collar that, not the kind that folds down. It's just a straight collar. And he was wearing that, and he was sitting on a bench and, kind of laughing, but he also seemed nervous. And so I was like, So I told Ann about it, and she said that fits the same description as what my mother has seen. So we kind of have, it's sort of corroborating evidence, if you want to call it that, the mother has seen this one boy, and I saw something very similar. So I'm looking forward to asking her what exactly she did see and what her description is, and let's see how close they match.
Right. Over the holidays, I get this question a lot. Mm-hmm. Daryl, how do you separate the church from ghosts? I said, I don't.
Oh, that's a good question for me. Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
The Holy Bible. The Bible speaks of the Holy Ghost, but I'm hoping to get your dad back in here.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And for him to talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
Because we like to get both sides of the story.
Mm-hmm.
I've never, ever said that ghost and the Bible are two separate things.
Mm-hmm.
It's your call.
Yeah.
It's your understanding. And that's the way I try to explain it to people. It's like anything else. I've been a criminal investigator for over, God, I hate to say it, 30 years. But
that's experience.
But what I like to say is, when I go into an investigation, I don't ask names. I don't ask anything other than give me the facts.
Right.
Okay. Let's look at the facts. Then, because I don't want to form any opinions on this individual because of a name or color of skin or anything else.
Right.
It doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing when it comes to investigating paranormal activities.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to know anything other than give me the facts of what you actually know about this.
Right.
And so that's the way I look at all investigations, and that's the way I want the listeners to perceive what they're told, and and we're giving them the facts. We're not giving them. Now we do, go off the track a little bit and give you our opinion, but we'll tell you that's our opinion.
Right.
Okay. We're not trying to hide anything. We're not trying to add anything to it. We say, well, in my past experience, I believe it may be this, but it's based off of experience, and it's based off of the facts that we have in front of us.
Right.
But we want the listeners to listen to what we're saying and form their own opinions.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to always have those who are saying this is BS.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to have those that said, oh, God, that's got to be absolutely truth.
Yeah.
Well, we're not really going for either one of those.
Right.
We're going down the straight road of saying this is what happened. This is This is just what
Yeah.
we have in front of us, and you form your own opinion from
Yeah.
that. So
The way I look at my role in this is that I'm not giving you even concrete evidence. Like when I say I see 20 people in the backyard, I'm the only one who can see that.
right.
So I think my evidence lends to the whole picture.
Right. Of what somebody else is saying
Yeah.
about that circumstance.
And if it corroborates and lends
So
to
be
it,
it.
then it's useful and good anecdotal evidence
right.
and works with all of the evidence together. But if it isn't corroborated and like somebody says, well, I don't know why you would find a person named Sally in my living room. And nobody knows why Sally's there, then unless Sally tells me, it's just one of those things. It's like, well, I just saw a ghost named Sally. Nobody knows why she's there. And so it doesn't lend itself to the investigation. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like, as a psychic medium, I see all kinds of things, and some of them apply to our situation and can be used as like corroborating evidence for the whole picture. And that's what we're looking for, is kind of like a whole picture. Like you talk
Right.
about the facts, what people are perceiving as factual.
Right.
And then we go in and try to find out with instruments, what can we know here? And so it's almost like trying to peer deeper. I don't look at it as supernatural or paranormal. I look at it as, because this is happening, it has to be part of the natural world. So I just think of it as just ghosts are natural. I don't know what they are. I don't know what it means. I don't know where they are, but they're there.
Right. And I believe everybody sees a ghost. They just don't know how to perceive it and
Yeah.
how to interpret what they're seeing.
So true.
So you've got to, I guess the people they asked me, well, how does she see into your home and how does she see into what's going on? In my opinion, from what I've seen from Amanda's investigations and Amanda talking to individuals, you've got to call her, open up a portal between you
Yes.
and them in the house that you're in, and so she can see into that portal. Amanda's not
I can't
walking
just
around
go
and
into
looking at
people's
everybody's
houses in
house.
my mind.
Right. You've got to give us a way, and that's the reason I'm asking you right now, if you could give us a way to communicate with you and communicate with your surroundings. You've got to send us a phone number so Amanda can call you and she can open that portal between you and the surroundings around you, and then she can see in. She has given a lot of facts to a lot of individuals on the air and outside the podcast that I've observed that have met, I guess, the individual's expectations of what a medium does. Mm-hmm. She has given them facts that they say, oh, yeah, well, how did she know that? Well, you've given her a portal that she can look into, and that's what I'm trying to get the individuals to do right now. We can't, Amanda can't operate without you calling in and you texting us and giving us a way to communicate with you so that we can open up this portal. And we would love to open that portal up on the air, but you have the options. We can discuss it, with you off the air, and then put the findings on the air. And we don't have to give your name if you don't wish to.
Totally be anonymous.
Right. We've got a lot of people who we say a name and it's not really their name. That's their call, and I respect that.
Yeah.
And I understand that because of the way that we are here in the West. We have a closed mind when it comes to a lot of this, where if we were operating in the East Hemisphere, we would probably be
a lot more normal.
Yeah, we would be more normal. We would be more open to discussion about things like this.
Yeah.
So we're trying to, and I found too that over the last year or so with the Mothman podcast, we found that there's a lot of people out there. I have not yet talked to anybody that hasn't had some kind of experience that they want to talk about.
It cracks me up because it doesn't matter who you ask. Well, I mean, it does matter. Some people are like, yeah, this happened to me. But a lot of people say, No, nothing ever happened except for that one time.
Right. And then they start talking, and then they start thinking, well,
it's like they convince themselves.
Well, and they also start saying, well, there was this other time.
Yeah,
and they start bringing it back in. But it's one of those things that you don't go home and say, hey, Mama, I ran into Aunt Betty who died 10 years ago.
Right.
So it's
oh my God, that's
it's
so
one
funny.
of those things that
it is.
You've got to you got to open up to it.
But I can definitely do different kinds of readings on air if people want to call in. And what would be really cool is if we could tape you doing some kind of hypnotism session.
And I want to do that. We're going to do that as soon as we find someone that I think would be interesting.
You're really interested in doing past life regression at this point, right?
Yes, I am. I really am. I try to work with, I work with different people on different things. It's kind of like anything else. They come in and say, well, can you make me stop smoking? Nobody can make you stop smoking if you don't want to stop smoking.
That's right.
Okay, I can tell you that right now. I don't care if you're the best hypnotist in the world. You're not going to convince somebody to stop smoking if they really don't want to.
Yeah.
And first thing I asked them, I said, "Why do you want to stop smoking?" Well, my wife wants me to stop. Okay.
Well, that's not you.
I'll hypnotize your wife then.
Yeah.
So
he's probably happy to have you do that.
So that's where it goes to. But in past life, if a person has a feeling, intuition, or something that causes them to think that, hey, deja vu, anything like that, I want to talk to you. Yeah. Because there's probably something there.
Yeah.
Where there's smoke, there's usually flame.
Yeah.
And there is a flame, there's usually fire. So, those are the people I really want to talk to,
right?
And go back. And you have people that have a hard time concentrating. It's probably a hard time. That's a hard person to hypnotize, because
right? Yeah,
they can't close. You got to close your conscious mind down.
Yeah,
and if you can't close your conscious mind down, I can't close it down for you.
Right.
You've got to do that.
You know what taught me how to do that? I honestly couldn't do that until someone taught me transcendental meditation. And then the more I meditate, the easier it is for me to be in like just a life situation and need to shut down part of my brain so that, something's not overwhelming or whatever. And I can do it. And I can just shift my focus. I was never able to do that before transcendental meditation.
You want to talk a little bit more about that? Because a lot of our listeners are really going to say, what does that mean?
Transcendental meditation has been around. I don't know the facts of the early part of it. I know it was brought over.
We'll research that for you, for the fans.
Yeah. I know it was brought over from India by some guru. I don't remember his name, but he began teaching it to different people, and he got in with the Beatles, who really made it famous because they would meditate on camera. They would just have cameras on them and just meditate. So, and they had actually gone to India at one point, which was kind of a big deal back then.
They studied there. There was, I believe, National Geographic
followed them and did photos. Yeah, the photos are amazing. But they came back to the States firmly convinced in transcendental meditation. So it's kind of spread from there. And there's a lot of really famous people that are into it. David Lynch is probably the biggest proponent, and he's a horror film guy. What was the one? Twin Peaks.
Okay.
Yeah. He did that and a bunch of other stuff. And, but now all he does is travels around to teach transcendental meditation. And what transcendental meditation involves, most people think of meditation, I'm going to sit down and somehow shut off my mind. And transcendental meditation acknowledges it's really hard to shut off the mind. So what they do is, and there's different ways to do it. You can choose your own mantra, or you can actually look up a mantra that is like fit for your birth date, your location of birth, and different things like that. And there's these charts, and you can find which word you're supposed to use based on like Hindu theology. But so I use a Hindu word, it has no meaning other than the sound of the word. And you don't share that word with anyone because it's like it's your personal thing.
Right. Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah. And so you, when you meditate, you just get in a comfortable position and you repeat the word over and over while just breathing. And before I knew to look up a Hindu word, I was just saying to myself, like, peace, be still, or be calm, or just something soothing. Or even just Om works. But the idea is that by focusing on the word, your parts of your brain shut down, and they have proven it. Transcendental meditation is the most studied form of meditation. And a few things happen. Parts of your brain actually shut down. And your heartbeat also reduces significantly. Blood pressure drops, and blood pressure is, the force that your blood is being carried through your veins, and that's what nicks your veins and causes heart attacks later. So you want reduced blood pressure, and it just slows the entire nervous system. And they've studied transcendental meditation in fMRI machines where you're fully conscious and you're thinking, and they're measuring what parts of your brain are lighting up, basically, like where is activity happening. So it has like serious physical benefits that are like, if you have high blood pressure, you should do it just because you have high blood pressure, because it has shown to be so effective at reducing blood pressure. But for me, it works for anxiety significantly. And I'm at the point where if I start my mantra, parts of my brain will automatically shut down, and I'll calm myself down, and the anxiety goes away, and I just regain kind of the ability to think clearly. So it's really good for, if you're in a crazy situation, but it's also a practice. It's something you should be doing. It's, like you should go for a walk every day, which I don't do. You should meditate every day. It's just it's part of your health.
Right.
So.
And with that being said, I would also like to add that a lot of people have this misconception of, if I shut down my conscious mind, it's a self-defense mechanism.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Actually, it's not, because your self-defense mechanism is your subconscious mind. And that subconscious mind will never let you be harmed. Okay?
That's true.
So no matter.
It's always active.
Right. So no matter if you're in a deep
hypnosis or meditation
state or meditation or anything like that, if something happens that threatens you, you will automatically come out of it because it's in the self-conscious.
Yeah, you will.
That's where we keep the, hey, breathe, okay, eat, drink. Everything's in the subconscious mind. It's not in the conscious mind.
Right.
And
good point.
And another thing is, Amanda and I can work together. Once she teaches you how to shut down that conscious mind, then you go into hypnotic state. I can help seed that hypnotic state with a word that will trigger you to more easily go into the subconscious state next time. Okay. And that's where you were talking about the word that you keep to yourself. That's something that I can help plant in your subconscious mind. So the next time that you want to meditate, you can use that word that's going to be in your subconscious mind, and that will help you shut down your conscious mind.
Oh, I see.
So
to kind of help you get deeper.
So you and I working with an individual can really help that individual get deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
And that's where we need to go if we're talking about prior life experiences.
Right.
So we've got to get deep and deep and deep.
Yeah.
And that helps train the person to go into a deep psychotic, not psychotic. Not psychotic. A deep hypnotic state. I'll get it out here in a minute.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because I know I've told you before that I kind of hypnotize myself when I channel, and part of what that is it's like one step beyond meditation.
Right.
It's like there's meditation, and then one step later is kind of self-hypnosis.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, you have hypnotized yourself quite a few times. Have you ever been driving and just say, how did I get here?
Yeah, I've done that.
You've placed yourself into a hypnotic state. You're actually subconsciously seeing the road,
right,
doing what you need to do, but consciously you're shut down that conscious mind. So that's the reason you can't. How did I get here?
So it's like your subconscious is driving.
Driving, right. And you've shut down the conscious mind. And that's
so crazy.
Hypnotized. It's the same thing. So, and we all do that, my wife says, I'll be doing something. She says, well, why don't you just go hypnotize yourself,
Yeah.
Not to eat or something like that. Whatever she wants me not to do.
Do you ride motorcycles?
Lord, no.
Are you serious?
I wanted to, but every time I go and get my wife convinced that, hey, I really would like to do this. I really want to ride this bike. We have a friend that's involved in an accident or something. And then it's just shot out the window.
Yep.
If you want to ride a motorcycle, you got to go buy all this insurance policies and you got to do this. She says, and when you get in a wreck, you better die because I ain't taking care of you the rest of your life.
My mom always says. She used to say that to my dad. Like, if you get in a wreck, you better die.
Yeah. Because I'm not taking care of you the rest of your life. So she's always kind of pulled the plug on that motorcycle deal.
Yeah.
But
I haven't ridden much, but I took the class to learn how,
Right.
And they used to warn us about
daydreaming.
Not daydreaming. It's some kind of hypnosis. It's like line hypnosis or something like that.
Where you're staring at the line.
Yeah,
so
and it causes like 60% of motorcycle crashes.
Right.
Because I guess it's easier on a motorcycle to focus like down.
Right.
Instead of ahead. And they kept telling us, no, lift your head, lift your head.
Yeah. Well, I did drive race cars.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I used to drive a Porsche race car. Oh. And driven it, rode Atlanta and different tracks around the country.
That's so cool.
But one of the things they teach you is in driving a race car, you never look at the car in front of you. If you look at the car in front of you, you're going to follow the car in front of you.
Exactly.
You always want to look ahead.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that you need to do on a motorcycle and driving a car. You don't want to stare at what's right in front of you. You want to be looking down the road.
Yeah.
And then you can concentrate on what you need to do. And so that's the same thing with life and anything else.
It is.
Don't stare at what's in front of you because all you're going to do is follow it.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you're always thinking
your eyes are ahead.
And your eyes are ahead. And it goes, that's just life. You need to do that in life. So,
this is true.
But here again, that's things that we can work on in hypnosis. I'm really looking forward to next year. I'm really looking forward to getting more into it. I'm taking some master classes in the hypnotic field and working with people. But my concentration is going to be in prior life hypnosis.
I think that's great. Like, we need to look more into that.
Right.
Like, we always think about where we're going in the afterlife.
Yeah.
But people don't really think about, well, where'd I come from?
Right. Yeah, and I agree. And that's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
And, a lot of people, well, was he a king or queen? No.
Yeah.
He worked as a laborer.
Right.
Or he was
the Queen of Sheba does not reincarnate all the time like that.
Or I died on the battlefield at Gettysburg or something like that. So there's a lot of stuff out there,
Yeah.
There was one guy that I worked with that was always afraid of a loud gun. And it appeared that he died in the battlefield.
Huh.
So when he heard a loud gun, it scared him, and he never knew why his whole life.
Wow.
And so we narrowed it down to
that's what it was.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Another interesting case was a friend of mine did a hypnotic session with a guy that couldn't eat red meat. Just made him sick as a dog. It's always made him sick as a dog. And during the session, he saw himself with his family, and it was in a time where they had to kill wild animals, and they couldn't start fires, and they ate the raw meat.
Oh,
and so,
wow!
So we've narrowed it down to where
interesting.
Where he couldn't eat raw meat because of the fact that in his prior life, that's what he had to eat.
Yeah.
And it made him sick now in this life.
Huh.
So,
wow, that's fascinating.
So there's a lot of things. You know, one guy had a scar on his back, and in his prior life, he was a police officer and shot. And come to find out that when he did some research back, years, that there was a police officer shot. He was shot in the back, and he was shot in the area where the scar is. So, but that scar always hurt him, and he couldn't figure out why, and the doctors couldn't figure out why. So they think that, from what we found out in his session, that he was shot in the back, and that scar was the bullet hole.
Yeah.
And so there's so many stories out there and we'll get into these stories in 2020.
Yeah.
And we'll also get with real people. And hopefully we're doing this session here to try to bring out.
It's a teaser for the year.
It's a teaser for the year, but it's also to try to bring out more people to talk to us about these things.
Definitely. Please.
Because there's a lot of things out there that you said, well, it might be boring to everybody. Well, it's not. There's a lot of people who really want to hear this.
Yeah.
And we're a team here that really wants to hear it.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's a lot of our listeners who wants to hear this. So please, in 2020, get on the internet and get on Twitter. Just get to us so that we can get with you and tell your story or investigate your story. Or do whatever we need to do. If you got a pain that you can't figure out, let's look at it. Let's do a hypnotic session and see what's going on.
And a friend of ours does Reiki healing, where it's like an energy healing. So we could bring that person in.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of things we can do. We just need to hear from you, the listeners, and give us your thoughts and. Just come to us, and if it's not an outrageous amount of distance, we might come to you. So but just reach out to us. I mean, this broadcast goes out around the world. So if you're sitting in England right now, it might take us a little while to get there. But
or Germany, we have a lot of German listeners.
In Italy, there was a lot from Italy this past year. Canada, shouting out to Canada. Hello, Canadians. We're out there to help you. Yay. So, and I didn't use that in the right terminology, but
that's okay.
And also Australia, we send out our prayers to you guys for all the fires that's going on there.
Yeah, that's a really rough
we're thinking
thing
about
there.
you here in the States, and we've had our share in California. So, we bleed with you, and we hope that you stay safe and you get everything under control. I hate to hear that a lot of this stuff was set on purpose, but
I know.
It is what it is, and we got to live with it, and hopefully going forward we learn from it.
Yeah, and it's been kind of a rough global start to the year, but we can't let that define every day of the rest of the year.
That's right.
It's better to just embrace it, to, like you said, look forward. Don't look right in front of you where you're going to crash into that car.
Let's look ahead and make sure that we go forward with our new year in a positive manner.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Mothman Podcast will be here to bring you the very best in the paranormal in the coming year.
And we'll be looking at a lot of UFOs, which in the last 2019, they opened up a lot of new doors to give us a lot more valuable information on UFOs. So we'll be looking at that and bringing you a little sci-fi in our Oldie Goldie series. So hopefully you'll tune into us in 2020, and we'll get back out there with you, and we hope to hear from you.
Send us your stories, send us your experiences, your questions, if you want to be hypnotized or you want a reading, just let us know. We're here to help you with your own spiritual experience through this world.
And like I said, give Amanda that portal that she needs to look in and to see what's going on in your life. Okay, with that, I'm going to close this episode. We really enjoyed being with you tonight. And we hope that you enjoy our program and look forward to seeing you in our radio program for the rest of the year.
Through the coming year.
Through the coming year. So thank you for listening.
And Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
And good night from Mothman Podcast. We hope you enjoyed tonight's episode.